Have you been super stressed, feeling a little burnt out, and maybe wondering what direction you're headed to next in life? Perhaps you might want to consider a silent retreat. And in this video, I'll clear up some of the misconceptions you might have about what exactly a silent retreat is, the different approaches to what being in silence means, and maybe why you might even want to consider going on one. And stick around till the end and I'll give you some recommendations of which ones you might like to try out too. Hi, I'm Jaime at Enlightened Spoon, feeding your mind, body, soul. On this channel, we help you design a life with less stress and more intention. It's mindful living, minimalism, and finding the personal rituals that work for you on and off the yoga mat. So many people I speak to have the mistaken idea that a silent retreat just means you stay in silence and don't do anything all day. And that couldn't be further from the truth. It all depends on what kind of retreat you're on and who's teaching it, but generally it usually involves a great deal of meditation. All day, every day. And usually different styles and forms of meditation, from seated to walking to laying down, eyes open, eyes closed. And sometimes even involving dyads, a form of one-on-one meditation where one person shares and another simply listens and holds space for the other. Yes, even on a silent retreat. And while you as the attendee is mostly in silence, the teacher is there to lead and guide you through the focus or themes being explored on retreat. And sometimes you might also get a one-to-one session with the teacher where any questions or issues you have can be discussed and explored. So then, what's the point of going on a silent retreat? Ultimately, when life gets busy and we get wrapped up in the stuff that complicates it, like relationships, whether that's personal, professional, romantic, or we get bogged down in the minutiae of day-to-day living, any kind of retreat you can do is a chance to take a timeout. Get into a different rhythm and really give yourself that time and space to slow down and explore different themes or patterns that might be coming up in your life. No matter what kind of retreat you're on, there's usually a focus, whether it's a detox, learning how to meditate, or simply a rejuvenation program you're doing. And that focus is usually on some form of personal development, even if that's to learn how to slow down and relax. Usually all meals and daily activities are scheduled and planned out, and all you need to do is just show up and focus on yourself or the theme of the retreat. And for those of us who have kids, parents, partners, or other people to take care of in our day-to-day lives, the simple thing of having time to focus on ourselves when the day-to-day logistics are taken care of can be such a luxury already. A silent retreat is allowing yourself to drop into a different or slower rhythm so you have time and space to explore where you're currently at and notice the patterns showing up in your life. We're so busy filling our time with what the next thing is on our to-do list, we find it hard to slow down and give ourselves that time to just be. And because we never give ourselves that time and space to simply be, and we're always filling our time with things to do, I'm guilty of this myself. And even being away on retreat takes me the first few days to adjust from the usual doing mode to being mode. It's so hard. And especially when we're accustomed to setting goals, achieving, and doing. Who are we when we actually drop that doing and allow ourselves to just be? Staying in silence accelerates and enhances this process. And are you comfortable being alone with yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, and whatever else might present itself once you stop busying yourself with all that doing? And sometimes we need to be taught different ways of how to be okay with slowing down and being with ourselves and to be guided through that experience. It seems like this should be intuitive, but perhaps many of us have lost our way or lost touch with this aspect of how to just be. We've been so busy with filling our time with doing, achieving, and perhaps even using this busyness as a bit of an escape. Ultimately, doing this work can be difficult as it forces us to look in the mirror and confront what or who is there. And at the same time, it can also be really beautiful and deep healing work too. A teacher once told me the point of meditation is to close the gap between who we think we are and who we truly are. And I love that approach because it creates that space for curiosity to explore what and who is there when everything else fades into the background. So if you're stuck around till here, you might be curious which retreats I'd recommend. But first, if you've got value out of this video so far, I'd appreciate a thumbs up and do subscribe for more ways to design your mindful life on and off the yoga mat. With retreats, there are so many styles and approaches, and it really depends on what you're looking for. I'll put links to all the retreats I mentioned in the description below, and the first one is probably the one you've heard of, the 10-day silent Vipassana retreat run by the Dhamma organization. They hold these everywhere around the world, and they are donation-based. Now, these tend to be more strict and traditional, where there's no external input whatsoever. No reading, no writing, no journaling, no listening to music or podcasts, no exercise or movement practice. It's simply you meditating, listening to the teachings, and that's it. If that seems a little too hardcore as a start, there are other silent retreats that encourage writing or journaling as a form of reflection, including Diet Work, that one-to-one meditation I mentioned before. And I highly recommend any of Richard Miller's silent retreats, usually held 1 or 2 times a year. He's the founder of the iRest Institute, the Yoga Nidra meditation I'm training in. What I love is he draws from the ancient wisdom teachings, but teaches in a way that's free of dogma, yet still gets you straight to the essence and into deep states of meditation. Even if you're not ready yet for a silent retreat, they've got lots of workshops and immersions that you might find interesting, both in person and online. Then, because I'm also a lover and teacher of Yin Yoga, I did a recent 5-day silent retreat with Sarah Powers and her husband Tai. I love how she fuses together psychology, Tibetan Buddhist philosophy, and Yin Yoga, movement through the body. All of this as different paths to the way in. She does a number of workshops and trainings all over the world too. None of the links above are affiliates. I just love and recommend these different teachers. If, however, you are looking for a more exotic getaway, like to a beach maybe, with more yoga and movement, I do have an affiliate link to an amazing site that aggregates thousands of yoga retreats all over the world. And if you book through my link, I'll get a small commission at no extra charge to you, so it's a win-win. Just key in where in the world you want to go, for how many days, what yoga style, what kind of focus, like do you want to have a detox as well, a sporty outdoor activity, or spirituality and chanting? In fact, let me know in the comments below. Are you all for silence, or what else are you looking for in your next yoga and meditation retreat? You'll find it all in the link below, so I hope you find that perfect retreat to give yourself that space and time out you need. Do it. Your future self will thank you. And if you need some tips on what to pack and bring to your next yoga retreat, check out this video here, and I will see you in the next one.